low of 44. Light winds for tonight, but tomorrow we are tracking the howling winds with a daytime high temperature of 52 degrees. Talking more about your hour-by-hour forecast for Thursday coming up.
The woman accused of killing two Make-A-Wish cyclists with her car earlier this year is now facing murder charges. Today, officials announced that several additional charges against Mandy Mary Ben, including 2 counts of second-degree murder. That crash happened off of Stage Road in Ionia County back in July. Officials say Ben was intoxicated when she hit the group of riders taking part in a charity event. 2 of them died and 3 others were hurt. Make-A-Wish canceled its next ride in honor of those victims and their families.
A man from Paw Paw has pleaded guilty to arson for setting fire to a Planned Parenthood in Kalamazoo back in July. Joshua Brereton admitted to the crime in court today, saying he purchased the supplies, then broke through a fence at the facility, lit bushes on fire, poured gas on them, and tossed a flaming fire starter log onto the roof. The facility had been closed at the time and nobody was hurt. He also admitted to posting an anti-abortion video on his YouTube channel and referring to abortion as genocide. He's facing up to 20 years in prison and a fine of $250,000, along with restitution when he's sentenced in February.
Grand Rapids public school leaders held their final town hall meeting tonight to discuss their facilities master plan.
The district launched the effort last month in an attempt to get feedback from families about their plans to possibly close some schools and other buildings amid declines in enrollment. Fox 17's Marisa Oberly was there and tells us what comes next. Marisa?
Jamie and Josh, DRPS hosted 11 town hall meetings and collected more than 1,000 surveys during this process. Officials say they now plan to speak with students. Tonight's meeting happened at Mullock Park Elementary School. People listened to Superintendent Dr. Ledrian Roby explain why this needs to happen. She said, simply put, with many GRPS buildings under capacity, it takes away their ability to invest in other needed areas. A firm hired by GRPS found it spends $4 million in excess maintenance costs each year on top of what it already spends to keep those facilities up and running. Dr. Roby says that money could be used to reinvest in students, staff, and other programs. One parent I spoke to says while she initially feared the plan, she now welcomes it.
I think one of the things that Dr. Roby was saying that really just resonated with me is the fact that some of our middle schools don't have the same opportunities as far as like extracurricular activities and classes like woodworking or foreign language. So kind of making that more widespread, I think, would be amazing.
And at this time, it's unknown which buildings will be impacted, but Roby says the district does not intend to shut down any high schools. Any closures would not happen before the 2024-2025 school year and would likely be phased in.
Still a big process. It seems like it's going to take a long time to get some real answers about what kind of changes are coming. I am excited to see the good things that are going to come out of this. Of course, I am a little bit worried about the changes to come, but I do think that they'll include us in all of those processes.
And Dr. Roby tells me after they wrap up student surveys, they will then take all of the quantitative and qualitative data gathered these last few weeks, and the school board will consider it before they approve a facilities master plan by the end of the year. If that plan does call for any schools to be closed, she says they will not be named until 2023 or later. I'm reporting live in the newsroom, Marisa Oberly, Fox 17 News.
There was a big honor this evening for a hospice patient who served his country during the Korean War.
Our Megan Vaselli joins us in studio with a look at the special ceremony held in Jenison. Megan.
Yeah, Jamie and Josh, loved ones and members of the Sunset Manor community gathered tonight for a special pinning ceremony for Russell Pavins.
Anchors away, my boys, anchors away. His love and his
Russ is a 91-year-old U.S. Navy veteran who served in Korea during 1952 and 53. Now he's a patient in the Heart and Soul Advanced Cardiac Care Program with Emmanuel Hospice. Emmanuel offers pinning ceremonies to all patients who are veterans, customizing each one to meet the needs and wishes of each patient. Russ is known for being extremely humble about his service. And tonight, more than 20 friends and family members attended Russ's ceremony, which was extra special because an Emmanuel employee who is also a Navy veteran was the one to present Russ with his pin and certificate. It's a night Russ says meant a lot to him.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. I think it's great. There were a lot of us that did it. A lot of them gave up a lot too. We had some good times and bad times. One of the best is a wonderful family I got around here now.
It's really important when we look at honoring the legacy of those that served before us to have, those that follow behind and also the families that made sacrifices themselves as part of that recognition.
Russ also received a star from a retired American flag during tonight's event. Pitting ceremonies like this are part of Emmanuel's participation in the national We Honor Veterans program. We have more information about the program at fox17online.com. Live in the studio, Megan Vaselli, Fox 17 News.
All right, Megan, thank you. Still ahead on the news at Fox 17 News, PFAS protest after blood tests revealed chemicals in woman's blood 750 times more toxic than the national average.
They knew the House Street dump was there, and they never told me, they never told Tobin, they didn't tell any of us.
The changes they want to see happen.
The Grand Rapids Public Museum hoping to honor Native Americans past Indigenous Peoples Day. The new help they're getting to help them do that. Welcome back. Years after investigators confirmed the presence of cancer-causing chemicals known as PFAS, activists say there are still high levels in the Rogue River.
This afternoon, they hosted local officials and a state lawmaker along the river in Rockford to share their concerns. Fox 17's Michael Martin has a recap.
As we've known for years now, investigators say the PFAS got into the ground after Wolverine Worldwide dumped chemically treated scraps into nearby disposal sites in the 60s. But those PFAS, they're still testing in the Rogue River here, and local activists want more to be done.
365 days of the year, 24/7. This PFAS is flowing down the road into the Grand.
PFAS, as West Michiganders have likely become familiar with in recent years, are man-made chemicals often found in seating and office furniture.
How far did the tannery come? Did it come all the way down here?
In the 1960s, Rockford shoemaker Wolverine Worldwide disposed of chemicals from its tannery in dump sites, one of which was off House Street. But those chemicals eventually made their way into the groundwater.
They knew the House Street dump was there, and they never told me, they never told Tobin, they didn't tell any of us. And so I learned in 2017.
On Wednesday, a group of community activists invited State Rep David LeGrand, along with Rockford's mayor and city manager, to hear their concerns about PFAS potentially seeping into the Rogue River, which weaves through the downtown area.
I still worry about the contamination in there, that people aren't aware of it. Because it's so beautiful. People come from all over the place.
It looks great. Right?
So our concern is that it's still flowing into the river from underground.
Sandy Wynn Stelt was there to speak about the continued need for cleanup solutions as well as public education. After losing her husband to cancer, her blood tested 750 times the national average for PFAS in her body.
The first thing you have to do is name the problem. The first thing you have to do is have a discussion about wrapping your arms around it, defining the scope of a problem, or you're never going to deal with it.
LeGrand, who has been working with community activists in Rockford for some time, said he hopes they can secure future federal funding to assist these efforts.
If we have known contaminants seeping in to a river which feeds into Lake Michigan, that's not great. This is obviously something we have to deal with as soon as possible.
To see more of our extensive reporting on the PFAS situation here in the Rockford area, and to find out more about what these local activists want done at this point in time, head to our website, fox17online.com. For now, though, in Rockford, Michael Martin, Fox 17 News.
Also in Kent County, detectives have recovered 40 guns and charged a pair of 30-year-olds in a burglary investigation. Yesterday, they searched a home off of Oak Lane in Nelson Township, finding the firearms as well as thousands of dollars in stolen property. Now, it comes after a months-long investigation that began after several storage units in Kent County were broken into. The suspects, a man and a woman, have been charged with multiple crimes, including conducting a criminal enterprise. A woman in Muskegon County was charged today after being caught on camera in August leaving 6 kittens and their mother at a car wash. 75-year-old Donna Jean Pisces is charged with 1 felony count of abandoning or cruelty to 4 to 10 animals. The owners of the car wash filed a police report after catching video of her dumping the kittens into a sewer grate and abandoning their mom. They were all taken in by local animal rescues, but all the kittens eventually died. Volunteers say their mother, who they named Mama Suds, is doing all right. Some unique artifacts curated at the Grand Rapids Public Museum.
The museum this year won 2 grants that helped make the Anishinaabe curator position possible.
How their newest employee is honoring Native American history.
Plus, we have scattered rain showers and dropping temperatures in the forecast tonight. More about your Thursday outlook coming up. Happy Wednesday, everyone. We are taking a live look now over downtown Grand Rapids, where we do have dry skies at this moment, but it is not going to be this way for the rest of tonight, as we do have isolated to scattered rain showers that will be building through the area. Taking a look at our satellite and radar, we initially had a passing cold front earlier this evening. A lot of that rain is now shifting off towards the east, but we have another line of showers and storms that will be moving in closer to the lakeshore, especially into Muskegon and Ludington initially right now. A few rumbles of thunder will also be possible, in addition to some stronger wind gusts and heavy downpours. The wider view shows that passing cold front, but we do have additional showers that will continue throughout the night and also leading into tomorrow. It's also where we're expected to have our drop in temperatures. Just take a look at that cooler air mass. Temperatures in the 30s and the 40s towards our northwest, settling into West Michigan as we speak. 46 degrees right now in Muskegon, 47 in Kalamazoo, and 45 in Mount Pleasant. Winds are light at this moment, but they are really going to ramp up yet again leading into tomorrow. Tonight's overnight low temperature will be 44 degrees, partly cloudy skies with scattered to isolated rain showers and winds from the west between 5 to about 15 miles per hour. Many of our locations tonight will be dipping into the 40s with an overnight low of 44 in Ionia, 46 in Kalamazoo, and 43 in Big Rapids, with our Thursday planner showing the temperature staying on the cooler side. In fact, by the lunchtime hour, we're only going to have a temperature of around 49 degrees with a daytime high of 52 and winds from the west between 10 to 20 miles per hour, where we could have wind gusts up to 30 miles per hour or even higher closer to the lakeshore. Daytime high temperatures for your Thursday will be in the 50s for all of West Michigan. Those winds are going to be strong all day tomorrow, but we're also expected to have a windy day on Friday. But on Friday, they'll mainly be approaching from the southwest. Because of our strong wind gusts, we do have a higher wave height trajectory between 6 to about 8 feet for the afternoon and evening. Rip currents are possible as well, with water temperatures in the 50s and 60s. So our future track shows the on and off rain showers for tonight. They will be scattered to isolated in nature, and with the winds that are picking up tomorrow and dropping temperatures, we could see some lake enhancement when it comes to a lot of these showers. That is going to extend into Friday with moments of sunshine mixed in. Additional chances for rain will be moving in late in the evening on Friday, which could impact our Friday night football games. Cooler air settles in for the weekend with daytime high temperatures staying in the 50s. So as for our Fox 17 Blitz game of the week, we will have a face-off between Concord and North Point Christian. Temperatures are mainly going to be in the 40s with those strong winds. As we take a look at the rest of our Super 7 day, we'll see a high temperature of around 50 for Friday, 53 on Saturday with a few showers possible in the morning, and then another chance for rain late in the day on Sunday. We'll take another look at our Super 7 day and the future track coming up.
The violence in the community, especially with youth, is something that's a community-wide problem, and I think there's a lot of different places that are looking to help solve it, and this is just one of them. You know, giving a place for kids to go. Unfortunately, I think maybe we see some kids that don't have programming like this, so maybe there's something we can do to try and get kids, at-risk kids, in here earlier, so they're not engaging in criminal behavior. Everybody kind of thinks that's what we're here for in terms of prosecutor's office. We just like to put people in jail, put people in detention, and try and lock them up. Ideally, we don't want that to happen. We would like kids to have the benefit of programmings and be law-abiding citizens and be out in the community and have a great life.
Kent County Prosecutor Chris Becker toured Blues Gym in Grand Rapids to see how they're working to keep kids busy and out of trouble. Blues was created by former world champion kickboxer Dino Newville. The gym off of Kalamazoo Avenue offers different classes and also has a learning center filled with books and computers that kids can use to study. Becker encouraged those in the community with a passion to help drive programming like this to help out local youth.